You've probably seen our investigative reporter Dan Kraus' incredible stories about squatters in New York City and how people's homes are actually being taken over by these squatters.
Well, since his investigation, we've received dozens of calls from people who are in similar situations, underscoring what a huge and unfair problem this has become.
So today, right now, Dan is teaming up with his 7 on Your Side partner, Nina Pineda, to look at ways to protect your homes and keep squatters out.
Yeah, we think this story is getting so much attention because for the first time, we're seeing a homeowner get arrested for defending her own property.
And I didn't even know this. You know, squatters have rights after just 30 days. It's crazy.
Just 30 days.
A little strange.
Local and state lawmakers, after watching our report, are trying to change that, and they filed a new bill which is actually gaining traction. Take a look.
So Adele, you're getting arrested right now?
I'm being arrested.
For what?
For being in my own home.
When police arrested Adele Andaloro for changing the locks on her own home to prevent squatters from getting inside, she was charged with unlawful eviction. Since we first exposed what happened, Adele says the charges against her were dropped, but strangers are still living inside her home. One of the men told me he had a valid lease, but wouldn't show me proof.
When they put those handcuffs on her, it was like somebody punched me in the stomach. Said, "This is unjust. This is unjust."
And something has to be done about it.
Yes, it's madness.
Ann Korchak is with the group Small Property Owners of New York. So when you get a call from a property owner who has a squatter, what do you tell them?
You know, the only thing they can do is hire an attorney and start the process.
It's what the Landa family had to do. They bought a $2 million home in Queens in October, and the caretaker of the former owner refuses to leave. More than 6 months later, they're still in court.
So our hands are tied. Our hands are tied with the law.
We have received dozens of messages from homeowners in the same situation. One has been dealing with a squatter since November of 2019, another since last April, and it took another family 25 months to get the squatters out.
I mean, millions and millions of people have watched your video and look at this and say, how could this be happening?
Our investigation sparked a New York City Council members' rally calling for change.
You think we're at a bad place now? It can and will get worse.
But the change has to come to state law. It makes it difficult for police to intervene and requires homeowners to take squatters to court. Assemblyman Jake Blumenkrantz's new bill would change that.
Will make it so that someone who's trespassing, someone who is simply on the property as a squatter, will not be listed as a tenant within the law. They'd be simply a trespasser, and law enforcement can do their jobs and remove a trespasser, but they can't remove a tenant.
So police can do their jobs. And just a few hours ago, the governor of Florida signed a similar bill. It will make it easier to remove squatters there. We'll see what happens with the cases here in New York. Meanwhile, you've been working on ways to protect homeowners from being in this situation.
Yeah, you know, if you've inherited a property, Dan, or if it's your second home, you're just not near it, you're going to be away for an extended period of time. The key to defending yourself in a squatting situation is to prove they shouldn't be there in the first place. Right. You know what I mean? So one of the first things you do, if you're leaving your property, let the police know it's going to be uninhabited. You know, report it to the local precinct. The goal is have record of proof the house is supposed to be empty. Alert your local precinct or your PD in writing, and then invest in a security or doorbell camera. The smart home tech has become really affordable. You can see who's at your front door. You can say, hey, get out of here. Or then you'll have a video proof of the recording. Some cameras now have floodlights that turn on when they detect movement and can cost less than $150. And once you buy the hardware, though, keep in mind that video recording and storage, that may come with some monthly fees, especially if you want to keep that video for longer than a month.
30 days is key here because once 30 days kicks in, they have rights.
Yeah, and that's what you showed in your video there. They went into that, they can say they have rights after 30 days.
Even if they say they've been there for 30 days, police send it to landlord-tenant court. So it's not even the number. If they say it's 30 days, they know what to say.
This is just so different than any other tenant problem that we have.
It really is.
It really is. It's so frustrating. So besides the cameras, what else can you do?
You can do this, Bill. Look, this was $3.47 at Home Depot. It is a no trespassing sign. You could put this up in your front door, on your property line, somewhere where you can see it from the street. But this is the catch. Take a time-stamped picture of the sign. Most iPhones do this automatically because what you want to prove to police is that the sign was up before the squatters moved in. You know what I mean? So you have to show that time and date stamp. That's also why video security is so important. You can show they broke in, entered illegally, and then you have helped take away their squatter rights.
And we've heard from homeowners who use the sign with the camera to get out squatters. So we know it works.
And look, a lot of people have second homes. They've got property. Maybe they've inherited something that's not really right in the town or neighborhood where they live. all of this makes a difference.
Yeah, and that's when you should ask friends and family, hey, cruise by my house, take a look, see if there's a car in the driveway, light on or off. And if you see something, don't tell them to confront the people inside, because as Dan's camera saw, that can get really dicey. Just tell them to let you know so you can let the cops know, hey, somebody is at my house.
So you have brought this out in the open. It's come out of the closet. It is now a big issue. Is there going to be a change?
Well, they tried to change the law 10 years ago and it didn't work. So we'll see what happens. But I can tell you, since our story aired last week, it has got a lot more support and co-sponsors for the bill and is also receiving bipartisan support.